Saturday, May 4th, there will be a shift on the island as the biggest grilling fest in Grenada moves to the big parish. The Maggie King of the Grill competition is at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Come taste the most sumptuous creations from the grill as top chefs and food enthusiasts showcase their culinary skills. Maggie King of the Grill is a festival like no other with live soca music, fun attractions, and games for the entire family. Then from 6 p.m., get a chance to win up to $5,000 cash in bingo. Interested vendors and grillers should call 456-3454 to register before March 31st. It's the Maggie King of the Grill competition at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Gates open from 12 noon. Bring your appetite and stay tuned to this station for more details.
So much to see. Every corner I turn, there's something there to remind me of my beautiful nation and what it means to me. Not a thing out of place, that's what's special about it. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home, yes. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home, 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 sweet Grenada. Yeah, this is home.
I want to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath and relax yourself. Take another deep breath and relax it, and relax it. Eliminate violence.
Let me say a special good morning to those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.15, 105.9 on the FM dial. Those of you viewing us this morning via GBN TV, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channel 20. Good morning to you folks. Welcome. Those of you listening and viewing also via our social media platforms, whether it's the Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. Welcome. Those of you via GBN's webpage, gbn.gd. Good morning once again. That's a lot of good morning and welcome. Welcome to this edition of To The Point. I'm your host, GT, and I'll be with you for the next, should I say 55 minutes or so. It's got a little 5 minutes, I of course delayed for some reason or the other. My guest this morning representing was Mr. Aaron Moses. He's the, of course, CARICOM ambassador. I've been having a little issue. I was trying to talk to him, but not sure if he's hearing me. If I could go over and say good morning to Mr. Moses. Good morning and welcome, sir. Good morning to you, sir. I'm not sure if he's having an audio problem from also, but for some reason he's not hearing. So, folks, we're going to take a short break for a minute or two and try to have that rectified. And as soon as we have that rectified, we will certainly come back and continue with the show. Just give us a short bit of break and have this problem rectified for a wee bit. Sorry about that, folks. We'll be right back.
April 6th, all roads lead to the Grenada National Stadium for the big show, Digicel Reggae Fest, featuring the legendary Super Cat, Busy Signal, Romaine Virgo, Anthony B, Maxine Priest, Itana,
Let them get you down. Never let them see you frown.
The Smooth Jefferson Ramirez, and a special surprise guest. Doors open at 7 p.m., showtime 9 p.m. sharp. Tickets available at box offices island-wide or online at gotofet.com. Digicel Reggae Fest, Saturday, April 6th, National Stadium. You don't want to miss this.
On Saturday, May 4th, there will be a shift on the island as the biggest grilling fest in Grenada moves to the big parish. The Maggie King of the Grill competition is at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Come taste the most sumptuous creations from the grill as top chefs and food enthusiasts showcase their culinary skills. Maggie King of the Grill is a festival like no other with live soca music, fun attractions, and games for the entire family. Then from 6 p.m., get a chance to win up to $5,000 cash in bingo. Interested vendors and grillers should call 456-3454 to register before March 31st. It's the Maggie King of the Grill competition at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Gates open from 12 noon. Bring your appetite and stay tuned to this station for more details.
Records at the traffic department shows that a total of 1,447 accidents were reported for the year.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. It's To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 3rd day of April, 2024. And once again, my apology to our listeners and viewers. You know, sometimes technology do fails us at time. Let's say good morning, and once again to Mr. Aaron Moses. He's the ambassador for Grenada to CARICOM. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome to this edition of To The Point. Good morning to you. How are you doing this morning, sir? I'm still having a little audio glitch for some reason or the other. Are you here?
Yes.
Okay,
there's
great.
a lot of feedback coming when you're talking.
All right. Well, great. We should have had that rectified now. I think that should have been taken care of. Okay. So once again, welcome to the program. How are you doing this morning, sir? How are you doing this morning?
Well, back to my routine. 5 o'clock on the beach, 6 days a week.
All
Yesterday
right.
I couldn't. I couldn't go in. The sargassum, prevented that from happening. But I think I was able to sleep good last night, so I feel much better today.
All right, man. Nice to hear that. Now, we have just wrapped up the CARICOM games here in Grenada. Was it Monday? We had the final day for the games after 3 days of keen competition. Your take on the just concluded CARICOM games? Tell us about that.
Well, I think based on the overall feedback, based on our own internal analysis so far, we're yet to sit down to review what has transpired. I think once again we have been able to deliver a successful CARICOM games. As you know, we did that in 2000, we did that in 2016. And the overwhelming feedback from across the region has been Grenada is one of the better hosts of these games. And so I think despite challenges, generally we delivered an excellent event, particularly from the technical point of view. And the feedback has been very positive. I suspect you yourself would have got a lot of feedback from the various fans around Grenada and across the world. And my preliminary review so far indicated that they're quite happy.
All right. I mean, it's actually was one of the questions I was going to throw at you. What was that regional feedback about the hosting of the game? How has that been thus far? I mean, tell us. You did mention that the feedback has been good. What are some of those positive feedbacks you get? You did mention, us being a great host and so forth. What are some of those other feedbacks that you've been getting that sort of have propelled us to want to host more of these games here in Grenada?
Well, perception is reality, and different people will have different perceptions. Our Caribbean fraternity quite aware of what our capacities are, what we have done in the past, and so I think we lived up to the expectations. For those people external to Grenada who have been seeing this event for the first time being held in Grenada, they were quite surprised. The reality is we have been doing this for quite a while. As you're aware, we celebrate 100 years of existence of the GAA, and we have been mounting regional games since the 1950s. You must have heard about the Whitsuntide Games, which is one of the popular development meets in the Southern Caribbean. And that has been subscribed from all our affiliates across the Caribbean. So we have been able to mount these games. We also had the OECS Texaco sponsored games for over a decade. So we do have the track record of being able to manage and implement effectively. Now, a number of things must come together to have a very successful games. One, you must have the facility. And in this case, we do have an excellent stadium. The challenge was the resurfacing of the tracks, and that was difficult to do. When we bid for the games was a year ago, the track was not laid, but we felt it was opportune for us to do so, one, to coincide with our celebration of 100 years, and at the same time, to coincide with the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence. And so we had 11 months to prepare. Immediately, we put all our various committees together, numbering 14 committees of volunteers, and we have been working assiduously and consistently, meeting sometimes 2 or 3 times a week during that ensuing period to ensure that all things are in place. The challenge, of course, was to ensure the support of the government, which we are extremely happy, and to, given the various challenges, the procurement challenges, etc., to get our track ready on time. As you're aware, the main track was ready on time, and there were some challenges with the warm-up track, which virtually had to be rebuilt because the base was damaged because of abuse with other events. And so it was a touch and go, but we did have contingency plans in place to ensure that there was adequate warm-up facilities. So that was a primary challenge. Now, there are a number of other things that are critical for the mounting of such a games. One is the accommodation, and 2, proper nutrition, feeding, those 2 things. The accommodation posed a challenge because this is the largest ever games by virtue of the number of participants and officials, numbering approximately 800. And we're not talking here about the support of parents, etc., who come along. In the past, we have been able to have the games, what we call a games village, where all the athletes would stay at one particular hotel. But that was not available to us. In 2016, we used the then Rex Grenadian. That hotel has been rebuilt, different marketing strategies, so we could not utilize it. So that meant we had to find alternative accommodation of a fair and reasonable standard. And to do so, we had to use 14 different properties. Now, that is challenges, because to ensure that there are minimum standards, to ensure that the owners commit to the delivery of what is required. Half of those facilities did not offer meals. So we then had to look for caterers of a certain standard who had the capacity to deliver 3 meals consistently on time, utilizing the same menu, ensuring that proper nutrition and timeliness of those meals were delivered. And that took quite a lot. In addition, while the technical part of it, as I said before, we have been working on that all along, ensuring that all officials are retrained, refreshed, given experience. We had 3 meets at the stadium where they could have practiced their craft, and all the other bits, ensuring that all the modern equipment. On this occasion, we had all the most modern equipment that are available to ensure that the different elements of the games were managed effectively. So it was a high quality facility, top track, top equipment, well trained, and as you know, our character games are supported by what we call technical officials, regional technical officials who come in to ensure everything, to provide support, etc. So everything was in place to deliver. Now, despite all your planning, on the day of the actual event, things will go wrong. So you have to make adjustments. You have to be constantly monitoring and ensuring. So the patron does not understand what happens in the engine room. We partners, for instance, with Sportsmax. What is required to carry these games live? Tons of equipment, ensuring that they're all working in sync with each other. Location, skills. We had over 60 persons supported in Sportsmax alone. So it takes a lot to ensure that you deliver that size games in a timely fashion, ensuring that you minimize errors and mistakes. And I think generally, we can say we safely delivered 99.95%. Efficiency.
All right, but that's great. Now let's talk about the benefits to Grenada in terms of regional integration and so forth from this just concluded CARICOM games.
You're crackling a bit, so I didn't.
No, I was stating the benefits to Grenada in terms of regional integration and so forth from this concluded games.
Well, the benefits are broad-based. One, from an athletics point of view, we confirm that we are a maturing host who understands the nuances and the technical specifics of the sport of athletics. And this is not accidental. As I said, it's 100 years the Grenada Athletic Association being at this. So our profile certainly is enhanced from across the athletic fraternity, understanding and appreciating that when we, as a small island producing world-class athletes, it's not an accident. So we do have a long track record of involvement in athletics, and certainly it speaks well to some of our programs, our experience, and what is it we do. So from that perspective, Grenada's competence and capacity, our profile will be enhanced within the international sporting community. In terms of local, it gives us an opportunity to expose all our supporters, all our officials, and the Grenadian public to understanding what it takes to host certain games of this nature, the delivery of an effective games, ensuring that a key stakeholder, which is the Grenadian public who love the sport of athletics, get to see the future stars. As you know, CARICOM games have been one of the source of many of the international top athletic stars, both at the Olympics and the World Championships. In terms of the economy, we have estimate just under 1,000 associated visitors who follow these games and who visit Grenada. In the Bahamas alone, over 200 supporters came. A lot of Jamaicans came. A significant number of Trinidadians came. Little Turks and Caicos brought almost 30 additional supporters. So it definitely has a multiplier economic impact. If we utilize 14 different properties, all those properties obviously had the opportunity to get revenue at this period of the year. So the multiplier impact of hosting a games of this nature, where just under 2,000 persons would have been on the island for a minimum of 5 days, is a significant economic injection into the economy of the country.
We're due for a break. Let's take that break. We come back and chit-chat some more. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV. Let's take the break, folks. We'll be right back.
Saturday, April 6th, all roads lead to the Grenada National Stadium for the big show, Digicel Reggae Fest, featuring the legendary Super Cat.
Now this one's dedicated to all the parts of them who are jump.
Busy Signal, Romaine Virgo, Anthony B, Maxi Priest, Etana,
Never let them get you down. Never let them see you frown.
The Smooth Jefferson Ramirez, and a special surprise guest. Doors open at 7 p.m. Showtime 9 p.m. sharp. Tickets available at box offices island-wide or online at gotofet.com. Digicel Reggae Fest, Saturday, April 6th, National Stadium. You don't want to miss this.
On Saturday, May 4th, there will be a shift on the island as the biggest grilling fest in Grenada moves to the big parish. The Maggie King of the Grill competition is at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Come taste the most sumptuous creations from the grill as top chefs and food enthusiasts showcase their culinary skills. Maggie King of the Grill is a festival like no other with live soca music, fun attractions, and games for the entire family. Then from 6 p.m., get a chance to win up to $5,000 cash and bingo. Interested vendors and grillers should call 456-3454 to register before March 31st. It's the Maggie King of the Grill competition at Progress Park, St. Andrew. Gates open from 12 noon. Bring your appetite and stay tuned to this station for more details.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. And welcome back to, of course, Mr. Aaron Moses with us this morning here, folks. We're talking Carifta. We're talking this, of course, just included Carifta games in Grenada. Mr. Moses, welcome back once again. My next question I want to throw to you. You know, being a sport enthusiast as you are yourself, sir, the continuous having the events of this particular nature in Grenada, talk to us about the benefits, especially towards our athletes. What's your take on that in terms of, being a sports enthusiast yourself, we continue to having those events coming to Grenada on a regular. What are the benefits could derive, especially for our athletes?
Well, there are a number of things that must come together if we are to have sustained growth and development of athletics as a sport in Grenada. And one of it is to ensure that we have competitions that can expose our young athletes to the nuances of competition, getting the feel of being on the field in a big environment, but more importantly, to compete with your peers across the region. It's only by doing so you'll get to appreciate what it takes to excel at the regional and international level. So one of our goals is to provide relevant development opportunities via competitive activities. And so that is why we have a calendar of events every year where a number of athletic events are held to give our athletes opportunities to perform, to grow, to compare their growth, to see what other athletes are doing. In terms of the large games, as you're aware, the large games that we have in Grenada include our relay meets, our national championships, the secondary school games, the primary school games, etc. And we have worked to bring back the Whitsuntide Games, which was one of the largest development meets in the Southern Caribbean in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and early part of the 80s. And that is one of our major mission. As you know, it's quite competitive. Different parts of the Caribbean around the world have different meets. And given our stage of development, and indeed the Caribbean stage of development, that's a gap. That's having development meets that cater for the younger athletes, like what just transpired with CARICOM. And so all of our affiliates in the Caribbean are supportive of us and are looking forward to us rebuilding that Whitsuntide Games. And we are endeavoring to do so, and that takes resources. The hiatus that took place, a lot of young people not aware of the importance and the history of those games. So it's going to take a lot of marketing to bring it back. And our view is that's the type of games we need. We do not need the larger games. The economic cost of delivering those games, it's great to do, but it is not critical. At games of this nature, an average takes $3.5 million to deliver. Where do we find that money? We have to make decisions of maximizing our resources. Where best should we put our money? Should we put our monies into development to produce more Kirani James, or should we put our money into a large games where for 2 hours people are happy? Yes, you see international stars, but very little impact in terms of where our focus should be. So we in the athletic fraternity, we have done our analysis based on Grenada's stage of development, based on our mission and what we need to do. Our focus should be on development meets and not at the fine-tuning end. And we can go into details of that if we break it down to see where we can maximize our benefits.
All right.
So the focus of the Grenada Athletic Association is to build that Whitsuntide event as our largest annual athletic activity where Grenadians can come and see not only the key international stars of the region who used to come to Whitsuntide Games, but the focus is on providing an opportunity for the growth and development of our young athletes.
All right. I want to focus a wee bit on the future of sports in Grenada from your point of view. The focus a wee bit on the future of Grenada's athletes. You know, there are a lot of promising athletes out there. What's your thoughts on the future for our athletes, you would say?
Well, it is very clear Grenada has tremendous talent. As I said, athletics is the most participative sport in the country. Every kindergarten school have an annual sports meet. So starting from very early, and that goes on to primary school, secondary school, etc. If you go to the pre-primary, and I don't know if you had the opportunity a few weeks to see the private pre-primary school games and the depth of talent at that level. What has happened over the last 2 decades, our structure has been fractured. And so you've been losing that talent because the primary school system and the secondary school system has not functioned effectively as they should. And to understand that, we go to Intercom and everybody's there and it's a fantastic event. But if you look what has been happening in the last 15 or so years, you see 3 of 4 excellent athletes, and the other 18 and 20 are underprepared. And the reason for that is that the system was broken, meaning that we have worked very hard to ensure physical education teachers at the primary school and the secondary school, and they're exposed to training in football and athletics, etc., focusing on preparing those athletes. That system has fallen apart. They have not gotten the sort of resources and attention that they should have. And so many of them were drawn into ensuring preparation of academics, because schools perceive that they measured based on their academic performance. So little attention. I mean, I remember a few years ago, we counted 15 former persons who have moved on to Teachers College because they see their future as academics because of the lack of attention. That needs to stop. We need to go back to the holistic education of our kids, where every individual is multidimensional, you academic, you spiritual, you physical, etc. And it's only doing that we can build healthy young people, discipline, the right culture going forward. And that has affected our athletic growth and development. So while we have a very good structure, similar to that of Jamaica, it has not been efficiently managed. We need to ensure that that happens, that there are greater collaboration between the Ministry of Education and Sport. So integrated development of our sports and young people. If we do that, then like I said, the pipeline will be assured. You don't wake up one morning to get an Anderson Peters or Kirani James. It's because of those development programs sustained over a period of time. And that is where we need to refocus, because the talent is there, the interest is there, but it has to be managed, it has to be deliberate, it has to be an integral part of our strategic growth and development plan for Grenada.
All right. I want to speak a wee bit about the bonds and friendship that was actually created by the Crift. What kind of volume does that speak for Grenada in the future?
Again, I'm not hearing. For some reason,
I'm not sure what's the problem, what's the issue. But I was actually speaking about the bonds and friendship that was created by the Carifta game that was just concluded. What kind of volume does that speak for Grenada?
Whoa. I don't know what's going on, but I didn't get it again. Something is going on.
All right, I'm not sure. Let's take a break again, and we'll be right back. I'm not sure what's causing that problem, but let's take that break. We'll be right back. Stay with us, folks.
What is happening if it's on my...
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Looking for that injection of vibes and energy, of course? Well, I've got just that. Hi, my name is Gary, Mr. Smooth, and I'm inviting you to join me on the Hot Morning Show on Hot 98.5, 98.7 FM. Weekdays, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 in the morning. I've got a healthy dose of your favorite and most infectious hits sampled with information, news, laughter, and all the other ingredients that go into making the hottest morning show on the radio. The Morning Heat. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit us up on WhatsApp, 435-7517. We've got topics, we've got discussions, calls, voice notes, and so much more. But I can't tell you everything. You gotta tune in. The Hot Morning Show on Hot FM 98.5, 98.7 with yours truly, Gary, Mr. Smooth. Kaboom!
to see my granddaughter.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers. Welcome back, Mr. Aaron Moses, with us this morning once again. I certainly hope you're hearing me a whole lot better. Are you there, sir? Hearing me much better, right?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, great. A question I'm going to forego the question that I was asking before. There was a bit of concern as it relates to the that final race in terms of the problem with the firing of the starting gun during the last event per se. What's your take? Or if there's any thing you want any clarification that you may have that you want to speak as it relates to that?
Well, as you say, there's tremendous concern. I mean, the crescendo that the games was, the trajectory, I mean, the excitement, I mean, it was building. And I think all of us was looking for the tremendous expectations of that final event. And I was almost positive that Grenada could have won or gotten a silver in that event. Now, from where I sat, the race started, and I distinctly heard a recall gun going off. As you know, when you're doing the relays, at that sign, the athletes are spread out of about 30 to 40 meters. And when I heard the recall gun, it appeared that some of the athletes also heard it, some did not. Now, on an occasion like this, the track umpires, just beyond the net for the discus, they should move on to the track and stop the athletes. It appeared that maybe they did not hear themselves or did not understand what was going on. Then I recognized that in Grenada's case, our athlete actually stopped, and then when he looked around, people were still running, and he decided to run. Now, in my view, the starter who should have had a broader perspective, that gun should go off again, confirming that there was a recall gun. But none of that occurred. Now, in cases where a group runs off and another group stays back, the rule states that the group that did not run should be given an opportunity to run, and you use the best times to adjudge the winner. And that was the case. However, Grenada had this unusual situation where an athlete stopped because he thought he heard the recall gun. So he lost significant momentum, time, and distance. If he did not, his timing would have been, Grenada's timing would be much, much better. So that is the scenario that occurred. The issue arose, what many persons were asking, well, did Grenada protest? My understanding, and you have to protest using following a particular methodology within a certain time. And during that process, I understand that the team manager, and again, that has not been discussed, but from what I've seen, the team manager and management decided not to pursue. Now, this is an awkward situation. There is no remedy for that one. You cannot ask people to rerun a race of that nature. People are exhausted because we had people throwing it all into it. So it's a very unfortunate experience. But being the host, we can live with it. We want our Grenadian people to understand that. I grew up in a culture when you invite visitors, our houses were small, then you sleep on the floor and give them your bed, right? So that is my perspective on it. The association have not sat down to review and go through all those details, so I hope I'm not venturing information that may just create more speculation. Okay. But that's what really transpired, and in the spirit of the games, we are here to build character, to have fair play, to engender sportsmanship, I would prefer to say, well, all in all, it was a great experience. Our Grenadian athletes really performed. I think that's a home court advantage. I saw the effort that went in, and I think they need to be applauded. They really need to be applauded. I don't think we would have had that performance if they were outside. I think the support of the Grenadian public was phenomenal. And all in all, it went well. So we would like to take this opportunity to thank the hundreds of volunteers, all the sponsors. We really came together to make this happen. Right. And I hope that this continues, because it's all volunteers, resources are limited. It's great when people come to those big events and enjoy, but it takes a lot of work and effort. So I want to make this appeal that all Grenada need to pay attention to sport one more time. Sport has tremendous benefits. It provides a diversion from getting into a lot of the wrong things that are seeping into a society. A former government under Gary built a lot of sporting facilities. Per capita, I think we have more sporting grounds than any other OECS country. We need to go back to maximizing those things. Every Sunday evening, there should be a sporting event and not other things that are not positive to our society. And if we do that, if we have our village competitions, we build our village teams, our parish competitions, all that feeding into our national competitions, there's a tremendous future for harnessing and developing our talent. So we need to go back. If you drive around Grenada, virtually every playing field is empty on a weekend in some cases. And entrepreneurs want to fill that gap with activities that are not productive. So we need to go back to building sport teams. People like us who been there, who retire and have time. We need to help form clubs. We need to coach our young people and, build those village activities that utilize our sporting facilities. And I think that is a major, major initiative that the leadership of this country need to foster.
Another question that is bearing some concern, especially to, of course, some Grenadians as a whole, has been a talk that's going around. No,
Wow. Let me stop you again. I don't know. There's some interference, and I wasn't hearing. Could you go a little slower?
All right, I'll try to go a little slower. No, there's some concerns of a particular event that will be taking place at the just concluded or replace the tracks and so forth at the stadium. There's a particular event that is scheduled to take place in a couple of days. What's your take on that? In terms of the new tracks being put down. You speak earlier in as it concerns to of course, the warm-up track had to be replaced because of events taking place that sort of destroyed it. And now we see there's an event that's going to be taking place in a couple of. What's your views on that particular show or so that's going to be taking place there? You have any concerns as refer to that?
You have introduced a subject that will take a long discussion. I don't know that I can do justice, but I do not support it. I think the cost and nature of the facility, particularly the athletic facility, that is expensive. You have to be very judicious with its use. In my view, some activities are incompatible with the sustainability and good use of an athletic track, and it should be only used in minimal circumstances. And we can go into the details of those things. The track itself is a very, very, what should I say? It is a, what's the right word? It has to be treated with care. There's a lot of scientific experiments going in there. The real reason why we're not running on concrete, etc., is that a track absorbs shock, minimize injuries. It also enables what you call latent energy that does not give people, say, a bouncy effect, but a minimum effect that it allows you to be efficient. So you are running in harmony with the track. And there are a lot of other features in terms of the care. If you look at how a track is built, you have to have a solid base at the bottom, and then the track has various constituents, with the final top layer being some rubber, right? If you go down on the track and you drag anything across those tracks, the rubber can be removed. If you compress it, you develop that shock absorption capacity. And so if you're going to move anything over the track, you're supposed to lay a mat and then at least 2 layers of plywood, and not utilize for transmission of heavy equipment. Now, the heaviest equipment should be a small vehicle. But if you're going to drive a truck with weight, you're damaging the track, right? There are other features. There's argument that you could use the grass inside. Well, grass also gets damaged. When you have certain activities and people are in there, you're drinking alcohol, beer, everything, and that's falling on the grass, you're damaging the grass. It's not water. Simple things. We have had it before. We have had events, and people will keep their breath fresh, have chewing gum. One chewing gum falling on the track, that is disastrous because you can't pull it out. If you pull it out, you're pulling out part of the rubber. If you use chemicals, you're damaging the constituents. And that's just one minor example. And so in cases where these tracks are used minimally, the entire thing is covered. Apart from not driving heavy equipment on the track itself, the entire field. No, that is an expensive thing to do. Now, you can try all sorts of variations. Like I said, maybe you can have 1 or 2 successful events, but mass events generally unsupervised, and that is one of our challenges in Grenada. The people who are doing it, they don't understand, and we have evidence of a lot of the destruction have taken place because people don't know. The rails are wrong, they hammer it, it's damaged. There's so many different things. I alluded to the fact that the warm-up track had to be rebuilt because heavy vehicles were driven. So the base was cracked and you had to rebuild it, and that was part of the delays. So a lot of people do not understand, including the managers of the facility, how delicate these things are. And so there's an expectation out there that you could just come in and do what you want, and So there's a big debate about it, policy issues, but that's my personal view, and I don't think we have sufficiently ventilated the issue. We have not educated the public as to the use of facilities and what should and what should not be done. There are those who are going to argue, well, we're small, we have minimal resources, and we have to work together. Yes, that is true, but not to the detriment and at an exorbitant cost. We cannot replace. I mean, in large countries, again, it's also a function of usage. If some tracks are being used every day, obviously the lifespan is going to be short. And so some countries have the capacity to resurface their tracks 4 or 5 years. We don't. This track is designed to give us, if better managed or best managed, 7 to 10 years. And given our resource base, that is what we should be aiming for. So we should ensure that we do all in our power to minimize decay so that we can get 7 to 10 years out of this track. Otherwise, it is going to be a significant recurring cost. So there are lots more to this. It's a debate. My personal view is not, it should not, mass events, minimal things, but like I said, it's a policy issue. We have to live with it, but I think more information is better, because what we're seeking is people's collaboration and understanding and the way we treat our resources. And I think we need to do a better job at communicating across the board. A lot of wrong things are going on because people don't know. Some don't care, of course, but I think it's a lack of information. But if we articulate, and I want to take this opportunity to thank our fans, because we did put out a call to leave the horns at home and what it was doing, and people abided by that. And I think information can help, because the negative impacts, we saw it at the intercall, really interfered with the efficient and smooth running of the intercalls, and we did not have that problem at this. So I hope people continue along that vein and leave them permanently at home and don't bring them to intercall and all local meets, because it really affects the efficient running of the games.
All right. Of course, Mr. Moses, we drew for a break. Let's take that break, folks. We're coming right back. For those of you who are viewing and listening to us, if you do have a question too that you may like to ask, of course, Mr. Moses, feel free to do so when we do come back after the next segment. We have approximately 10 more minutes left on today's program. We'll be right back.
Records at the traffic department shows that a total of 1,000 447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming.
I'll tell you, Master, I'm a radar. Girl, I'm a radar. I don't care now. Jump up in the area, pull up in a ranger. They wanna who's a stranger. I don't care now. I don't care about the neighbor.
When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
You know, one day I woke up and they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back. Ms. Moses was with us once again. And as I mentioned before we took the break, if you are listening and viewing this program this morning and you do have a question or two, feel free to give us a call and show Mr. Moses if within his capacity, if he's able to answer, he certainly will. Mr. Moses, welcome back. A question I would like to ask, it relates to the bonds, the friendship that was created by CARICOM. What kind of volume does that speak for Grenada?
What kind of what? I didn't hear the word.
In terms of volume, what kind of volume has that created for Grenada?
I'm not hearing that word again. I'm hearing for Grenada, but not hearing what kind of something.
I was saying in terms of the bonds and friendship from CARICOM that have just been concluded, what kind of volume has that created for Grenada, if you're hearing me now?
Volume is a word?
Yes, that's a word. Yes.
Volume in terms of
for Grenada, in terms of the bonds and friendship that was created by CARICOM, what kind of?
Okay. Well, the feedback, as you know, most of the teams left yesterday. I understand some people are crying. The relationship that they built with our ambassadors and liaisons, the friendships were pretty deep. A lot of people are planning to come back. They'll be communicating with each other. And that's what we were talking about earlier on, the authentic Grenadian experience. We saw this as delivering an unforgettable, unsurpassed experience of building camaraderie. And I think by and large we did that. People had a very enjoyable stay in Grenada. We often hear it that our people are very friendly. If you walk throughout the stadium, there's a lot of bantering and pick-on, where people are just having fun, And I think that is what makes the Grenada experience unique. And that is what people remembered in 2000, in 2016. And again, I think they left with that perception consolidated and confirmed in their mind.
All right.
That Grenada is one of the better.
All right, Mr. Moses, we do have a caller. We do have a caller. So let's see what this caller has to offer this morning. Hope you're able to hear the caller clearly. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hi, good morning, GT, and good morning, Mr. Moses. You hearing me, sir? Because you seem to be of a little problem. We'd like
go right ahead, please. Go right ahead.
Most of what you're saying with someone, not because
I want to ask Mr. Moses, what is the reason in the game. I noticed on Monday they empty out the stadium. Everybody from the stadium have to go out, besides the vendors. There is no seating outside for all who was in the stadium, but everybody had to go and stay outside for about 2 or 3 hours before to come back. Could you tell me why is the reason, please? Thank you.
Okay, yes. This is the international standard set by World Athletics. NACAC is the regional body, Northern, that's America, Canada, Central America, and the Caribbean. So this is the association we have, and they are part of World Athletics. And all international events have to conform and run professionally. So if you look at Olympics, you look at World Championships, it's the same model. And the reason being is twofold. One, you clean the stadium during that period to ensure that all the facilities are clean and are capable of ensuring that people are comfortable. But the most important reason is security sweep, where you go through the entire stadium. In many countries of the world, and we have had it, I know you should go back to history when you have had, for political reasons, in Olympics held in Germany, I think it was, a number of athletes were killed, where terrorists came in. So these are security standards that are required. So if we are to conform to the international standards, and by you, we are evaluated on what we do. And if we do not deliver a good games adhering to the standards, that will affect our ability to be awarded going forward. So this is standard practice. Now we understand the hardships in Grenada, and we try to bend. So for instance, on one day, because the high jump went much longer, and by the time the high jump finished, it was time for people to start going back in, we had to make the change to allow it. So yes, it's a little hardship, but I hope you understand and appreciate why it is done, and that we have to follow international standards.
Okay, thank you so much. We do have another.
JT, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I have a question, because I read the rules on these races, right? And there were 2 negligence. Negligence of the starting.
I have the same problem again. I'm not hearing. It's just, I don't know why.
Number 2, the negligence of the official was walking away and then disturbing the athlete while they're running. And that was grounds for the race to run completely over into the Jamaica, a new race. And my second question, I want to know that why we're not attracting like athletes from the diaspora, because I see on the Jamaican team there was like a few athletes that was schooling in the diaspora. So I want to know why we're not attracting as Grenadians, because there are so many Grenadians going to the high school up here that take part in sports and do very well. That's my question.
Okay, caller. I hope you were able to gather all that the caller said, Mr. Moses. I hope you were able to. Did you pick up everything that he did mention?
You need to repeat the first, but I think I gathered the second one.
Well, maybe you could answer the second, because we're a bit strapped for time, so we may have to wrap up.
Question?
So go right ahead and answer the second question that he speaks of. The first one I'm able to give you a real detail myself. So the second you may go ahead and answer.
Okay, the character games, as you know, is for kids between the ages of 13 and 19. We try to field our best team. Some of the athletes that you saw representing Grenada, a few of them are in Jamaican schools and a few are in US colleges. So once you are Grenadian, irrespective of where you are and you are registered with us, we know of your existence. We try to keep you in the loop. There are some challenges that arise, and that include that when we have some of the kids in North American colleges, depending on the academic program as well as the sporting program, we have to seek the release. And we have had that in the past where the college said, I'm sorry, we cannot. So some of the kids unfortunately, and they all would love to come home, cannot, because they may have an exams or it may conflict with the goals and participation of the colleges themselves, because they are spending the money, they are taking the kids, so the kids also have to perform. So we do have those challenges. Then we also have some persons who have inquired but do not qualify. Now, if your parents are Grenadians, you qualify to be a citizen, but you need to act to ensure that you have the citizenship. In some cases, we have had to expedite those things. So there are some challenges, but going forward, if there are Grenadians out there who are competitive, they meet the standards, and they want to run for Grenada, you should expedite your citizenship as quickly as possible. So when the time arises, there isn't any problems.
All right.
So I hope I have addressed that.
All right, Mr. Moses, we are about to.
The first question was what?
As I said, maybe we just forego the first question because we are a bit strapped for time. We are about to wrap today's program up. Any closing comments from you before we take a wrap this morning?
Well, want to say once again that we want to thank all who participated, our athletes, our officials, our patrons, our sponsors, and indeed the Grenadian people. We managed to once again host a very efficient games, bearing, albeit a little hiccups here and there, but they were very minimal, and that would place us in the delivery or the top deliverer of our character games. And so we are happy. I want to take this occasion to urge our supporters to continue to support the sport of athletics. It requires a lot of support our kids, support, us when we mount our various events by coming and participate and seeing the talent, and to really pay more attention to what is happening in our various villages and to utilize our sporting facilities, assist our kids in helping to train them, helping to organize them. And I think if we collectively do that, with the support of our policymakers, Grenada's future could be further enhanced. We're already punching over our weight, as we say. I think that can be expanded significantly because we do have the raw talent. What we need to do is to commit and dedicate ourselves to assisting our young people. And I think if we do that, we'll be building character, we'll be building discipline, we'll be giving our children opportunities for becoming better citizens, to acquire skills and training. Because the reality is, the studies show that 0.4%, less than 1% of athletes make it to the professional level. So from our perspective, the main goal of all what we are doing is to give our kids opportunities to access educational opportunities that will enable them to gain a profession, and by so doing, put them in a better position to enhance their livelihoods for themselves and their family. And I think we should always remember that. So what we're doing today is really building the capacity of our young people, giving them opportunities to become better citizens, and ultimately Grenada will be a better place.
All right.
So that's my final comments.
Thank you so much, sir, for being on the program this morning. But besides that, of course, the little difficulties we were having with the audio-wise, I think we were okay this morning. I want to thank you once again. Have yourself a great day, and all the best.
My pleasure.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too. Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. Folks, you can join us again for another edition of To The Point. That's tomorrow, once the Almighty permits. Have yourself a great day, folks. That's where we say goodbye. Have a good one, folks.